Hello. For those of you that noticed a technical difficulty right out of the gate, that was my fault, not Justin's. But welcome to episode 135 of Nerds with Mics. I'm Travis.
I'm Justin.
And I'm Justin, he says.
And I'm Justin.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Welcome. Today we have a packed show. We're going to be covering Xbox's game show. Not game show. I'm an idiot. Showcase. We're also going to be talking about Ubisoft's Forward. They just had an event today. Capcom also had an event, but I didn't get a chance to watch any of that. So maybe we can talk about that next week. But I know that we've been up to a lot this week, mostly you, because you obviously were on vacation. Luckily, Maxwell was able to set in, and we had a really good conversation last week around nostalgia and our favorite nostalgic memories. Justin, I know you were on vacation, but you did write in your story about, unboxing that sweet 64 and playing GoldenEye and what other game was it? Was Ocarina of Time?
Ocarina of Time, yeah.
Let's go. All right. Yeah. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. And as always, we always like to talk about what we've been up to. So, Justin, why don't you fill us in on what you've been up to this week?
Well, first off, I want to address a few things. So you might notice that my eyes are going to be up here. They're going to be down here. They're going to be right there. And they're going to be over there. And if you're listening to this in your car, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But I just changed my setup. So instead of using my MacBook camera, which is here, I'm now using my phone as a camera, which is up here. But Travis, to see his beautiful face, is down here. To see your comments, thank you, Justin. To see your comments, I have to look down here. And then to read my notes, I have to look right there. And if I want to check in on my beloved Cincinnati Reds, I have to look all the way over here. So if you see me looking all the way over here, it means I'm not paying attention. But if I'm looking anywhere here, I'm paying attention.
Fun fact, the person that wrote that in and made that comment was me, and I was talking to Maxwell about it.
Wow.
That's the plot twist. I was
wow. Yeah, Travis said that someone pointed out that they said that I wasn't paying attention, but if I'm looking here, I'm paying attention. And last week, my notes were over here, so I'd have to look and see my notes. But like I said, if you're in your car, you don't care. Honestly,
cares.
If you're watching this live, you don't care either. But I am getting used to my camera being up here, so you might catch me looking down at Travis a little more than I probably should. I'm going to try to be more aware of my camera and where
you know
it
what?
is.
Next week, baby, you'll have it set up where it's all right in front of you, baby.
I might. I need to pick up some USB-C cable, or no, I have USB-C now. If I switch to my desktop, I have to get USB-A. Is that what it's called?
God, that's gross. Yeah.
Ugh.
None of our listeners or watchers care about your technical difficulties.
Oh, in your face. Justin says, I care very much. And no, I'm not talking about me. I'm not writing my own comments.
Sounds just like you to care so much.
I care about what I'm doing. So what I've been up to, I went on vacation. The fam, we went up to North Myrtle. It was a good time. Ate a lot of food. I gained 5 pounds. I'd been on a weight loss journey, and I gained 5 pounds. I ate and drank almost every night. We found this nice little Irish pub restaurant that was just a mile from our hotel. So we stayed at this place for 3 years in a row. And, you take long walks on the beach. We've only ever gone one direction, I guess, because this year we went the other way. Yeah. And we found this Irish pub and restaurant that's right on the beach, and it was really, really good. Found this brewery at Barefoot Landing if you're in the Myrtle Beach area, or if you listen to us, chances are you go there. This area just loves to migrate to Myrtle Beach for a week every summer.
Yep.
But it's the Crooked Hammock Brewery. It's honestly might be my nod of approval. It was so freaking good. But yeah, we went down there for the week. It was mine and my wife's anniversary.
Congratulations. How long has it been?
25 years. Yeah.
That math doesn't check out.
When I was 10. Justin says gaining weight on vacation means it was a good vacation. Very much so. Although, man, I feel like food's gotten more expensive. That one hit my
Yeah.
wallet a little harder than I was used to. But
Yeah.
as soon as I came back home, I did four things. Unpacked, played Diablo 4, played Street Fighter 6, saw Spider-Man. And all were very good things. So I had a packed day and a half where I was trying to do all those things. And we played a little bit of Diablo last night, I believe it
Yes.
was.
Yeah.
I had to carry poor Travis's dungeon. He just couldn't keep up. But it was a good
Yeah.
time.
Well,
But we're going to talk a little bit more. Well, he'll talk a little bit about Diablo as well, and we're going to talk about Spider-Man a little bit later. So I'm not going to dive too deep into those. Street Fighter 6, I've only barely scratched the surface, but I played the demo for it, and I absolutely loved it. My friend Connor, loves it, and kind of convinced me to pick it up or to try the demo, and I just thought it was so much fun. So I'm not a huge fighting game guy, but this one's pretty good. So
yeah.
Travis.
Yeah, I played the demo. I haven't played the full release yet. I have it downloaded, but Hogwarts Legacy and Diablo have been taking up most of my time. So that's where I've been spending most of mine. You may notice I have new glasses on. These aren't new; these are just replacements that I had laying around because I went to my first Atlanta Braves game Thursday, and I left my glasses in the Uber. So therefore, I'm just rocking these until I can get them replaced or they get returned to me, which I don't think is going to happen. But the Braves game was great. I also had the opportunity to go to an Atlanta United soccer game. This is my second one. I got to go with my friend Alex. Great game. We won, which always makes it better. But I tell you, I think I'm slowly but surely becoming a soccer fan. It just nonstop action. It seems like all the time. There's not really a whole lot of downtime is like there is in other sports. So really thoroughly enjoyed that. Plus, just the atmosphere and the Mercedes-Benz Stadium is just really really cool.
Can I chime in for a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did we talk about the Ted Lasso finale?
I don't think so because it would have been the week that you weren't on the podcast.
When I
'Cause you
was
were on
gone, yeah,
vacation.
because I watched it at the beach. That's right. Okay.
Yeah,
If you,
we could talk about it if you'd like.
it's up to you.
I mean, that's fine. Let me get through my week. We'll touch on that real quick. Then we'll talk about spoiler free for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. But yeah, so I've been playing lots of Hogwarts Legacy. I'm a little over halfway in that. Watched the newest episode of Silo, which if you haven't seen Silo yet, it's a really good show. I think they're on episode 8 of 10 this season, but it's really good if you're liking kind of those shows that are kind of like Lost, like in regards of like this is what's going on, but then underneath it all, there's really something else going on. Kind of that type of vibes. I guess similar to Yellow Jackets as well. I guess it kind of has the same vibes as Yellow Jackets as well. And then also, as Justin said, I also went and saw Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which was fantastic. I mean, I didn't have any doubts, but the only thing I was concerned about was whether or not it could actually be as good as the last one, right? Because the last one, the year it came out in 2018, same year that Infinity War came out, it was my favorite. It was my favorite movie all year. Into the Spider-Verse. So it had a tall order, but it met, if not exceeded. I felt like so. Let's quickly talk about if you just want to share your thoughts on Ted Lasso. And then we could talk about Into the Spider-Verse, and we'll get into the rest of our content. So, what were your thoughts on the finale for Ted Lasso?
I mean,
You got mixed feelings?
I do, yeah, and I know that you and Terry and I have talked about it a little bit. I don't think you've actually talked about it as much as the two of us. And honestly, I'll post like negative things in the group chat just to kind of like rile Terry up. But I don't think he watches the
Wow.
show anymore. But did you notice I dropped that one Reddit thread and then I just didn't respond? He like unloaded like paragraphs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
You're such an instigator
I know.
sometimes.
It was just like a little underwhelming. It was like too much fan service. Actually, the article the Reddit thread I'd sent to the group was comparing the Barry finale to the Ted Lasso finale, which when you think about it, just sounds absolutely crazy. But because those are two wildly different shows, but like Barry's finale was like anti-fan service. There was no big shootout with Barry. None of that sort of thing happened. And Ted Lasso was like almost exclusively all fan service. It's like, oh, you wanted this to happen here, you wanted this to happen here, so it's just kind of like, what? And also, there's still like the whole like, is this the final season? Is it not? Apple TV made a few cryptic tweets last week. So I don't know. As a series finale, I think it's kind of weak. As a season finale, it's probably okay.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I liked it for the most part. I definitely think things could have went a different direction for me. I felt like you're absolutely right in regards of it was mostly all fan service. I was really rooting for Rebecca and Ted to
Yeah.
end up
They
together, which they
faked
never
us out in
really,
the beginning.
yeah, they never really hinted that that was even a thing. But I just felt like there was maybe some unspoken like feelings there, and
Mm.
maybe it wouldn't be revealed to the end. But and they even teased it not only at the beginning, but also the latter half of the episode where she's at the airport. I thought for sure she was going to get on the plane, but that didn't happen either. But
And then of course she steps out and runs into that guy from the boat. Like,
yeah,
fan service. Like, it's just,
yeah,
I feel like that's a show that's just too convenient.
yeah,
You know, like, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, maybe that's just what it's supposed to be. Maybe that's just not what I'm looking for. And I do like the show. I've enjoyed every single season, but I
yeah.
think it's kind of been put up on this pedestal and it doesn't really deserve to be up there.
Wow. Okay. Fair
I think
enough.
Shrinking's way better.
Well, we are just in the first episode or first season of Shrinking, so we'll see how it goes from there. But
Yeah.
Shrinking is great in its own regard. But yeah, I am also curious to see if and when they do a spinoff. Obviously, the thing that you were alluding to is, Apple tweeted a picture of Beard, Roy, and Nate in the locker room with their arms crossed, clearly looking like they're like looking up where the believe sign was, and it says "smells like potential,"
Yeah.
right? So
Was that
like
a shot from the finale or I don't remember.
I don't remember seeing them three together, but maybe it was, and I just didn't catch it. But
Yeah.
if it wasn't shot during the show, then that would be even more interesting. The fact that
Yeah.
it was not in that. But anyways, let's get into talking real quickly, and then we'll move on about our thoughts on Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And Justin, if you can, try to do this without any spoilers. It's only
Yeah.
been out a week. So I'm also going to throw this oh, no, that doesn't need to go up there. This is spoiler free, baby. All right.
Maybe.
So for me, yeah, you said maybe. So for me, like I said, this had a really tall order because, like I said, when Into the Spider-Verse came out in 2018, it was my favorite movie all year, and it still stands to be one of my favorite Marvel movies that's been made ever since. My first being Winter Soldier, probably is still my number one in the MCU. Now, that being said, I felt like this movie really built upon what the first one was setting up and just expanded the universe a lot more. Obviously, it's no secret, and you can tell by the trailers that like this takes place across the Spider-Verse, as the title insinuates, right? And there were so many Easter eggs, and you want to talk about like fan service in regards to the amount of like Spider-Men that were in this and the different types and things. I went out home after the fact and was like looking stuff up because I'm like, is that a real character? Like, is this a real thing? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Even with the main like villain, you know what I mean? I asked my buddy Alex if that was a real character and had to go look it up as well. It's just
Are you
like
talking about Miguel?
holes.
Oh,
No.
Spot.
Yeah. Yes.
I know. I think both have been kind of referred to as villains, but I don't really think Miguel's a villain. He's just like not likable.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. But I love the soundtrack of the movie, the sound effects, and also just like the visual effects. Like the first one was great as far as how it looked, but this one once again built upon that. Lots of neon, lots of Blade Runner vibes. I just overall really, really liked the movie, and it was over 2 hours long. And where
yeah.
it ended was just like kind of abruptly, and I was like, oh. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like we're coming up on 2.5 hours, but like it definitely kind of had that like remember when Infinity War ended and you're like, oh, so that's how this is ending.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it kind of had like that vibe. But with that being said, is the next one comes out March 2024, and it will really take place right where this left off. So it makes sense how it ended.
Yeah.
And for those of you that haven't seen it, and I'll say this and I'll turn it over to you. There's no mid-credit scenes, after-credit scenes, so don't bother staying around for that. And when you
Except
see
to
how it
just
ends,
admire the work of those who worked really hard on it.
yeah, exactly.
Memorize every name.
That's right. So what are your thoughts?
So I actually, I don't know if a lot of people remember this because I was talking to a friend of mine about it yesterday, and he didn't know that it was supposed to be two parts, right? He didn't know it was going to end, like almost like with a cliffhanger, right? But when the first trailer, the first teaser launched for this, it was originally called Across the Spider Verse Part One, and the next one's gonna be called Across the Spider Verse Part Two. So like, my notes went away.
Way
Hang
to
on.
go.
Got him back. But I lost my thought because of that little hiccup. So like yeah, they were originally called Across the Spider Verse Part One and Part Two, and then they changed it up. Why I don't know. Don't really care either. But I guess they didn't do a really good job at marketing. Like, hey, we've got this one, and then we've got like its sequel directly following next year, because this is like one big story. So I loved it. Like you said, there were a ton of interesting different spider men and women and creatures that showed up. The Spot. Now you made me question his name. I think it was the Spot. Great villain, Jason Schwartzman, voicing him, did a really good job. Really clever, and also seeing like him on the screen, and just all of that was just really really cool. His backstory was pretty interesting too, how he kind of ties into the first movie. I will say though, not enough Spider Ham, man. We should have had some more John Mulaney, some Baby J. Um,
I think
but
I miss Noir more than anybody.
well, you said no spoilers.
There just wasn't as much. That's
There
all.
wasn't as much, yeah. It was good to see Peter B. Parker back. Jake Johnson is like, just like if people were a vibe, he would just be good vibes, the person.
Yeah.
But it was just like a really good movie. I mean, like from beginning to end. I like how this one, no spoilers, this one started really from like Gwen's perspective. And it's kind of like her story almost. That doesn't mean Miles isn't. He's very much the main character still, but like it starts with her story, and it really fleshes out her background, and you know you got a little bit of like the detail, like the not the details but like the basics in the first one, but this one really fleshes it out. So loved it, and I just kind of love, without spoilers, that they've all accepted that this is a fate they all have to face, and he's just like, nah man. So I'm trying to word this in the most like
I know.
non-spoilery way possible,
I
but
know. I knew it would be a challenge for you.
and I'm
But
dying.
but yeah, if you have not seen it, I would highly recommend go check it out. This is also one of those movies. There's like, you know, those movies that like every so often, like you're just like, this has to be seen in theaters. I feel like this is a really good theater experience and definitely something I'd recommend for sure.
Do you have a
Um,
letterboxd account, Travis?
I do not. No,
You don't?
no, I don't even know what that is.
Oh, it's like a movie social media app where you can add your friends and other people. Like I have a few like podcasters that I follow in there too. But after each movie, you can like give it a star rating, and
Oh,
you can also, that's the site where people like make their list of like the best Batman movies, and they'll put them in the order that they want to rank them in. Not like a tier list, but just like that. But it's
I
really
feel like
great.
Terry has one of
He
those.
does, yeah. I follow him on there, but I don't give many movies a 5 stars. I gave this one 5.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I gave the first one 4.5 for reference. So
Okay, that's fair enough. All right. Well, anything else to add before moving on?
it's a masterpiece. It's a visual and technical and storytelling masterpiece.
Yes, absolutely. So go check it out. All right. Next, we want to get into Microsoft's Xbox Showcase. Now, uh, honestly, they covered a lot of ground. There was a lot of stuff that they covered during this event. One thing I want to pop up real quick is I want to share this image here. Let me go ahead and bring it in. Yeah, so as you can see, obviously, there was a lot of titles they talked about. Obviously, some big ones, Starfield, Forza, the new Hellblade, which I'm super excited for, Fable, Avowed. And then obviously, we got a new Star Wars Outlaws game finally announced, and a cinematic trailer. Now, this also showed up today during Ubisoft's Forward event, where they actually walked us through some gameplay. But at the Microsoft event, we did see a cinematic trailer. So let's go ahead and get started. Justin,
Yeah.
I'm gonna. So we're gonna start with Fable, right?
Okay.
And I'm gonna go ahead and try to play some of these trailers while we're talking about it. So, what were your thoughts on Fable?
So I was really worried. Well, I was worried that we wouldn't get gameplay for Fable and we wouldn't get a release date for Fable. And both of those things happened. We didn't get a release date. We didn't get gameplay. What you're seeing on the screen here is in-engine footage, which I don't really know what that's going to translate to when the game comes out. But I will say another thing I was worried about was that any Fable made by Playground Games wouldn't match like the same like vibe and
Or the
aesthetic
humor, you
and
know?
humor of the original. Not worried about that. This trailer, good vibes. It was just it was exactly what I wanted it to be and more. Now, will this translate to a good game? Who knows? But they've nailed like the personality of what I think the game's going to be. And that gives me some confidence. Now, here's what worries me. Microsoft yesterday, without jumping ahead, they gave out a ton of release dates and release windows, some in 2024. They gave us nothing for Fable, which makes me think we're not going to see this until 2025, which sucks. Like I want to play it
Yeah.
now. Uh, and also that reminded me at the Ubisoft showcase, without getting too far ahead, we didn't get Splinter Cell.
Nope.
They
Sure
have like
didn't.
two Splinter Cell games in the works. We didn't get any of them.
Nope.
So this is like two main games. There's three games I want to see. I want to play more than anything in the world. And that's a new SOCOM, a new Fable, and a new Splinter Cell. And I've at least got one that I've seen something for, one that's supposed to be being worked on, and one that Sony just hates. So, um, I really, I really love this trailer. And if there's a fight like this, like
Yeah.
that looks to me like it's going to push next gen. Like this looks incredible. Um, and it was just so funny. Like I love it. I watched this trailer, and when it was over, I immediately watched it a second time.
Yeah, I think the plot twist was cool that this guy was just sitting down asking, they because we don't have audio, we didn't want to have to talk over the audio. But if you haven't had a chance to watch the trailer yourself, it sits down almost like an interview style, interviewing this guy of what he thinks about heroes, right? And he's just kind of describing. And this guy is he's a gardener essentially, right? And then what
Yeah,
he he's talking about, well, I think real
vegetables,
heroes are,
fruits.
yeah, I think real heroes are people that go out and plant things in the dirt and grow vegetables and fruit and all this other stuff. And turns out, towards the end of the trailer, you realize that he is a giant, and it looks like the protagonist that's in Fable, that's the character that's being played, goes up to basically fight him, and that's what you see unfold in this trailer. And that's really where you start to see some of the sense of humor. And I don't know if you noticed, but in this trailer, there's a scene where they straight kick a chicken, which I know that was a thing for the old games, is used to just always harass the chickens and
Yeah,
whatnot. But there's a one where you just see her boot the chicken. There's this guy just pushing a cart, and he's like, "Oh, well, that's nice, I guess." Um, but I definitely, yep, there it goes. He
yeah,
just straight yeeted. But anyways, uh, I think the humor seems like it's there for sure, and the charm seems like it's there. I just hope they also continue to lean very heavily into where the decisions you make in the game, uh, you know, not only make it change the way the world perceives you, but also even physically changes your character based on the decisions and the things that you're doing in the game. That was always one of my favorite things about the Fable games, was just making those decisions, growing horns, having a halo, people seeing you and just immediately running away, just like every decision you made throughout the game, quest based and non-quest based, seemed like it had a great effect on what you were doing. And that's one of the things I really, really liked.
yeah.
So anything else to add about Fable before we move on?
I just wish they would have given us, even if it was like holiday 2024, just give me something, man. Like I really think it's gonna be 2025 at this point.
Yeah, and I think the big reason for that is for this next game coming up, that I know you're really excited about, and I
I
think you
am
were
now.
sold more so after what they showed you. But it's Starfield, which we're supposed to be getting in September, correct?
Yeah, September 6th, I believe.
Yeah. So what were your thoughts? What were your thoughts on this? I know before you were kind of like skeptical, but after seeing some of the stuff they revealed, they also did a 45-minute direct, I think, after the showcase where they showed the game more in depth. What's some of your thoughts on Starfield?
Yeah, so let me break this down a little bit. So before we ever saw any footage of this game, like a year ago, I was like really hyped for it, and then they showed off the game, and I thought, oh, that looks bad. So my hype meter kind of fell. I saw a snippet of gameplay a couple months ago, and it kind of raised a little bit, and now it's like at an all-time high. this game looks really good. It's kind of like it looks like, first of all, it looks like Bethesda's really spruced up their game engine. It looks new. It doesn't look like they're rehashing an Elder Scrolls or a Fallout game. It looks like a brand new engine. It does remind me a lot of No Man's Sky. What was that?
What?
Oh, I heard something talk in my ear. Maybe I'm crazy. But it kind of reminds me of No Man's Sky, but of course it's going to have a fully fleshed, deep story, RPG elements, things like that. One thing that I thought was so cool is I feel like a lot of games when like you have a ship of some sort, like you can fly it around, but like you can't really take ownership over it. Like only other game that really comes close is Mass Effect, only to an extent. It's really more what the game wants you to do, and then Sea of Thieves, right? This game kind of gives me the feeling that I'm going to have true ownership over the ship. I'm not just going to be flying it. At one point during the showcase, the full direct for Starfield, it showed like them being boarded by pirates. So like in a lot of games, it's like, oh, pirates are attacking you, give up your money or whatever, and that's that. In this one, they actually board you or you board them, and like you pull out your gun and you shoot, which is like awesome. Like I'm actually defending my crap, which is just really, really cool. So I really I like where it's going. I'm not willing to like get too crazy. Some people online are. I read your comments today. One person on the IGN website's comments said like, "Well, Tears of the Kingdom, we all thought it was going to win Game of the Year, but now it looks like it's going to be Starfield." Let's not get crazy. This game could still very well be like an 8 out of 10, not a 10 out of 10. In fact, it's probably going to be more like an 8.5 if I had to guess, but it could easily be a 6. It may not be good. I do have a good feeling though.
They could run into technical issues. That's one of my biggest things that I'm thinking could happen is server issues. Now, we think this game is this game a single player game? I can't remember. Yeah. So that's the one thing. I don't know if it's going to limit itself for being a single player game. Obviously I love a good story. I think it also will depend on the story and, because when you have a game of this scope, if the story isn't there, then that's definitely going to cheapen the experience. You know what I mean?
So I do have some bad news.
Okay.
Those playing on Xbox One, or no, sorry, Xbox Series S and X
Locked
will
at
be
30
locked
frames
at
a second.
30 frames.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that today, actually, right before I hopped on the podcast, which I think is going to be interesting. So you have this console that you spent all this money for next-gen gaming, and now you're going to be capped at 30 frames a second. So, but I have a feeling the biggest of this fan base is probably going to be PC-based. But, with this being available Game One Day Pass, if you got an Xbox, download it, check it out.
What did you say? Game One Day Pass?
Day One Game Pass? Like this
is Game One Day Pass.
If I did, I apologize.
Play the tape. I want to see it.
Play the tape. Let me hit a rerun. But, I am more looking forward to, which we didn't get anything on Elder Scrolls, I don't think, did we?
Just ESO.
Yeah, just ESO Online. And I'm more excited for that than this. I mean, I will definitely check this out and play it, especially since I have Game Pass. And it definitely looks ambitious, and I'm curious to see if it sticks to landing, especially with the track record this game has had with the delays and all that type of stuff. So, anything else you want to add here?
I'm excited. I mean,
right.
Oh, hang on. Here we go. So it looks like Justin said, "I want Starfield to come out so they can focus on the next Elder Scrolls game." Yeah, I think I saw the other day where it's been like 7 years since they announced Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about. Yeah, and also, please, any thoughts that you guys have on these games that we're showing, feel free to just chime in. We definitely want to hear what you have to say about these. And also, if there's any games that we don't show on here, because we really just tried to pull some of the ones that seemed interested and ones that we were excited for, feel free to chime in the chat and let us know. Justin, he's got an eagle eye watching these comments come in, so make sure you share. All right, so next was one that I was excited about, but also kind of had mixed feelings for, and that is the new Star Wars Outlaws, which is the new open world Star Wars game. I know you kind of had similar feelings. So, number one, I didn't realize you're going to be playing a. Did we say it was a scoundrel?
It's an outlaw.
Basically, it's an outlaw. Yeah, essentially like a Han Solo type character, right? I mean, I assume that's
smuggler.
A smuggler, yeah. So, I do like the fact that this is taking place between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So I like where it falls in the timeline because obviously there's a war happening. Um, I am kind of curious though, like, you know, I love like the environment and everything that we see. And I did watch the gameplay trailer that we got as well, which I'll switch to here in a second when Justin is talking. However, I don't know. I kind of wanted an open world Star Wars game where I play a Jedi. I understand that I just got done playing Jedi Survivor, but I guess it's just me longing for another Old Republic. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why. Maybe that's why I'm wanting something that's like that.
Or let's give me the
Uh,
choice of what I'm going to be.
yeah, exactly. But not going to completely write it off, but I am a little underwhelmed. Just in regards to, I just want to play Jedi. That's all I want out of life. But what are your thoughts on it? And I'll queue up this other video.
Yeah, I like the setting, and it's made by the same developers who make The Division, which I really like The Division. During the gameplay showcase today, I cooled off on it a little bit. It reminded me that first part of the game when she's like in a shootout really reminded me a lot of The Division, which is fine. I just if you've played The Division, you know that your characters are a little stiff. It's a little
Yeah.
more tactical. You have a lot of gadgets, which is cool for
Kind
Star
of like
Wars.
Ghost Recon as well, right?
Yeah, a little bit. It's even more stiff than that, I feel like. But you even saw at the beginning she like called her little thing up to do something. That's straight from The Division. Now, the similarities do kind of stop. The Division does not have any vehicle gameplay whatsoever, although it would benefit greatly from it. I can hear that trailer,
Points
Travis.
of light glow.
Yeah, I'm
like
turning it
stars.
down. Go ahead.
Turning it down.
That's right.
Revealing the lights
But
glittering into a piece of a broken crystal that
I can still hear it a little bit.
sits on a
But
tiny light mask.
you know, she's like rides on a speeder bike. There's some slow mo with her shooting from it. She gets in a ship. She flies around in that. Gets into some space combat. So like it's pretty. The game will probably be pretty good. But when I heard that they were making an open world Star Wars game, this I guess I'm it's my own expectations that are making me feel a little iffy on it.
Yeah. Yeah, and here's the gameplay that you're seeing now. It does very much have kind of like the Division vibes, where you're kind of like sneaking around and just like taking different approaches. That
Peep,
doesn't
peep the bottom
necessarily,
right there. You see her
yeah,
little mechanism thing there. I mean that's almost exactly from The Division, which is fine. That's fine. I'm cool with that, but I
yeah.
don't really
So
know.
it
I
looks
guess
like you're interacting with your little companion that's doing stuff as well, kind of similar to, obviously, like you said, the Division. It reminds me a little bit of using trying to think of the robot's name in
BD1.
Jedi Survivor. Yeah, BD1. But yeah, I mean the gameplay looks cool, but it also kind of like to your point, it does look a little sluggish or like heavy almost.
Heavy.
Yeah, but I mean I'll definitely play it. It's a Star Wars game, right? So like I'm
Oh yeah.
not gonna not play it. But the thing is if the story is there, then I'll want to play it just for the story alone, especially if it's something that's obviously going to be canon. You know?
Yeah, I did like this
Um,
part coming up here where she actually switches her blaster. Like right here, she's gonna switch it from blaster to focused, and like really just like charge and attack this guy.
yeah,
I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit too because I doubt we watched the whole 10-minute thing here. But whenever
yeah,
she's flying through space, whenever she lands, maybe it's as she's going. There's at one point where she has a wanted level, which I thought was cool, a little GTA esque. But
yeah. I'm trying to jump around. Oh, here's in space. Up there in the top left, is that what you're referring to?
no, well, that might be it. That might be the wanted level meter. But there's one part where it just pops up like big on the screen. It's like wanted.
Oh,
And I thought that was neat. Here we go. She's landing. No, she's not landing. She's got to space. But yeah, I don't know how the space combat's gonna feel. I don't know how actually flying is gonna feel.
yeah.
You see down at the bottom, it looks like she has 5 of something.
The graphics look incredible, though. I will say that. Like,
Yeah, I'm
the
assuming the X
graphics look
button
great.
might be a repair ability, maybe.
Yeah.
Looks like some tools. I can't see that other. B might be a gunner.
R- Reminds me very much of this part. Reminds me a lot of Rogue Squadron on GameCube, which I
Yeah,
really liked.
man, they need to reboot that.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
how do you skip ahead on this, Travis?
I can skip ahead.
Oh,
Or you want to go
fancy boy.
farther?
I was just not trying to see if I can find that wanted screen, but I don't see it popping up anywhere.
Yeah,
I do like the Star Wars font for the quest completed,
yeah,
but
yeah. And there's obviously a chance that we're going to run into some other Star Wars characters just based on the timeline that this is in as well,
well, at this point, Han Solo's in carbonate.
which they did show in the beginning
They
of
did,
this.
yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe Boba Fett run into Boba Fett.
yep.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, really, it could be anything.
Maybe
If
even
if Darth Vader shows up, I'm gonna be mad. Like, actually, in a way, I don't want to see anybody
yeah,
from the movies. Like, just let this be its own thing. Let people exist outside of the movies,
yeah,
because it gets a little crazy sometimes.
yeah. No, I agree. All right. Well, that does it for Star Wars. Now, I don't know if did you watch the whole event, Justin?
No, not the whole event. No.
Yeah, yeah. So there's some of these games I might show might be something that might be something you haven't seen. So let's I'm gonna show you Avowed, which I don't know if you saw Avowed or
I
not.
did.
Avowed I thought was pretty cool. So Avowed is actually it's this game is being made by Obsidian, which makes great games. I
Yep.
mean, I know they have a few games that you really like, obviously, but Pillars of Eternity, which is another form of like RPG D&D style, S games. So this actually takes place in the environment in the Pillars of Eternity universe, and this is a first-person RPG that obviously they tout that it has diverse ecosystems. You can meet different companions along the way. It seems very much kind of like a Elder Scrolls esque game. Is kind of like the vibes that I got, with a little bit more focus on like the D&D style play, but it is first person, so very similar to Elder Scrolls in that regard. But very colorful, very pretty. None of the games that we've seen or they show are ugly. Obviously, everything
Yeah.
looks great. It's just going to come down to gameplay. I don't know if you saw that. It had dual wielding pistols, which is kind of
Yeah.
interesting for a class. Um, this is actually supposed to be released in 2024. Obviously, all the games that you saw during the showcase, as I mentioned, will also be available on day one of on Game Pass as well. Does this seem like something you'd be into, Justin, or no?
Yeah, yeah. I actually think it looks pretty fun. They did say it's gonna be more on the scale of the Outer Worlds instead of something like Skyrim, which is fine. Outer Worlds was great. It was a little
Yeah,
more linear. But I think that's a perfectly fine decision. It'd probably make the game run a little bit better too.
yeah. No, I would absolutely agree. Especially because like games like this tend to have a pretty good character progression in regards to just like your skill trees, things like that. So as long as like even if the game's linear, but they give you a wide variety of fleshing out your characters, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
All right. Next was Clockwork Revolution, which this game definitely kind of excited for. The biggest reason being is I don't know. Have you played any of the games like in this style? This is similar. This is from the creators of Wasteland, which I
Love
don't know if you.
Wasteland.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you played Wasteland and you liked it, this is from the same creators of that. Uh, but this game just looks super interesting. I love kind of the like steampunk like esque environment,
Yeah.
which is very like eye catching. It also kind of reminds me a lot of like BioShock in a lot of ways, just based on the vibes that you're getting from this as well. But this, I don't think they released a date for, at least that I can see. But this is something that I thought looked very interesting as well. But what other games in the showcase? Was there anything else that stood out to you? I know obviously we got a new announcement for Forza, obviously not Horizon, but we saw a new Motorsports, right?
We did.
Which
It
do you?
comes out, I believe, in October. The one game that kind of caught my eye was that I think it's called Dungeons of Hinterberg. I thought it looked really really good.
Yes, I'll cue that up. Did you have any thoughts on Forza? I don't. I typically only stick to the Horizon games. I don't normally play the motorsports games. But
Same.
what about same thing for you?
Same, yeah. I'm more of a Horizon guy than the standalone Motorsport series. I did look up Clockwork Revolution. I can't find a release date for it. See, I think you're right. There's no date for it yet, but I can't wait because it looks really good, and I love
Yeah,
Wasteland. So
yeah. And the game that you were just referring to, this is the trailer for it. This is what was it called? The Dungeons of
I think it's
Hindenburg.
Hinterberg, I think is what it's
Hinterberg.
called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm already loving the art style of this trailer. This isn't a trailer I got to see, but oh yeah, I'm all about this already. This looks good.
Yeah, man. Also, the Persona games coming to Xbox. Persona, I think it's Persona 5 and 3, and maybe 4. I can't remember now. I feel like there was a Persona announcement like every few minutes. Um, oh, Justin wants to know if we're going to play Baldur's Gate 3. I have played it on console, or no, on PC, sorry. But it's been a while. It was in its earliest stages when it first came out. I like impulse bought it because I love the Divinity series. I love the Baldur's Gate series.
Yes.
But I haven't put a lot of time into it. Nobody I know has it. I don't know. Do you have it, Travis?
No, but I've been wanting to pick it up because I know that Baldur's Gate 3 is made by the same developers that do Divinity. So
Larian,
that
yeah.
automatically just makes me want to play it. So I am down for that 100%.
Dude, pick it up. Let's go.
Well, I will after we're done with Diablo. Right now, I feel like I got to do that first.
That's true.
But yeah, so one of the things too I wanted to show real quick is my buddy Alex loves Return to Monkey Island, all the Monkey Island games, and I saw that Sea of Thieves is actually doing an expansion around the Monkey Island, which I thought was kind of interesting. And I know you're a big Sea of Thieves fan.
Yeah, and Monkey Island. I'm really excited about this crossover.
Yeah, so I thought, obviously, because it's all Rare, right? So they own it anyways, right? Go ahead.
Monkey Island was from
LucasArts. I thought at one time,
LucasArts on the old Scum engine,
Yeah.
where like Day of the Tentacle, Full Throttle. Man, I grew up playing those games.
Yeah, and this might make it finally give me a reason to want to get into Sea of Thieves. I never really got into it, but
so good.
This trailer looks really good though. It's something I'm pretty excited about.
Do you
And
have
I know
PC Game Pass?
Yeah, I have Ultimate, so yeah.
Man, download it. We'll play it. That game is so good.
Yeah. Do you? Yeah, I mean, you played it like heavy.
Yeah, I did. When the game first came out, I was a little underwhelmed, but they really like packed in a lot of stuff, and it's like the best. Like it's honestly one of the best co-op games, and just it's so good.
Yeah, I played it when it first came out, and it's like when it was still kind of had like some issues and technical things like happening, so I didn't get to play it while it was been out and been polished. So that's definitely something that I would like to go back and try for sure. Another game, obviously, that I was super excited to see was the new Hellblade. I don't know. Did you play the last Hellblade game?
I did, but honestly, I'll be just level with you. I'm sick and tired of this new one. It's been way too long. Like, I get it. It's not easy to make a game. I don't know the first thing about it, but at this point, just stop showing me things until you're ready to release it.
So you're just saying this game in general, or just the game?
This game in general. I just feel like every year, like they show this one off constantly.
Yeah,
but like, it's just where is it?
Yeah, that is true.
I'm definitely losing interest in it. When it comes out, I hope I'm interested when it comes out, but at the moment, I'm just kind of like, eh.
Well, I'll definitely play the game because I love the first one. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things similar to Elder Scrolls. Honestly, I mean, they keep showing us, but we don't get any information on it.
They haven't showed us anything on Elder Scrolls since that initial announcement. That's why I don't really care that much.
It's
like,
just they keep showing you, but they don't give you any information.
At the Game Awards, at Summer Game Fest, at the Xbox Showcase, like, hey, it's Random Tuesday. Here's a new video from Hellblade. Like,
I think they even showed it during the Unreal thing, didn't they? I think they used it as one of the things. But anyways, really excited for this game. I am excited. I mean, I want it now. I know obviously you're frustrated with the fact that they've showed it so many times but haven't like released any information on it. But
yeah, my problem isn't that it's taking a long time. My problem is that they just won't stop talking about it while it also takes a long time. Like,
yeah, but it'll be amazing when it comes out. You watch.
Yeah, I mean, it will be.
Especially from a technical standpoint. I mean, this game was intended to play with headphones on. Well, the first one was. I imagine this will be the same because obviously it has to do with mental illness and mental disorders and things like that. And it does a great job of capturing those things. So
I'm trying to find out when they first announced the second one. Do you remember when that was?
I do not know. Now this game, I'm trying to remember which one I queued up here. I think this one is the new Microsoft. Microsoft Flight Simulator, which some people get stoked about flight simulators. I'm one of the people that like I'll play it for like a hot minute and then I won't play it anymore. You're excited about this, I take it?
Dude, I have the flight sim rig back here underneath my desk. Yeah, I've got the yoke, I have the pedals, I have the throttle.
Oh,
Dude,
this they're adding like search and rescue and everything
they
too,
are.
bro.
And I'm a little confused. I'm assuming this is like a brand new title and not
It
just
is.
like, yeah,
It
that's
is.
kind of crazy. They typically go like 20 years in between releases.
They do.
So,
Now, I also don't know if you saw. I didn't queue up the trailer for it because I didn't download it. But they're also doing a crossover with Dune.
yeah, I'm actually not a fan of that.
Yeah, I'm just like, why?
It's a simulator. It's not a fantasy game. You know,
Yeah,
like why do that?
yeah.
That's just me being no fun, I guess. But I love Flight Sim. I love this game. I played it day one. Well, I guess the last one, not 2024 edition, but it's like it's just super relaxing to like pick like your departure location, your arrival, and just flying. Like I really like that. It's just a lot of fun. And it's just, you know, you fly from our hometown to like Cincinnati, you know, and just taking the sights that you would see from the ground except from the sky. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. And the fact that it all takes real time is what I always thought was kind of cool. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, because it uses I think Bing Maps. So like you can fly past your house. I mean, it's pretty hard to do to narrow it down with that kind of accuracy, but like landmarks, like I've flown over the Reds Stadium multiple times in this game. It's a really fun time.
Yeah. This next one is a an RPG that they announced. It's I'm trying to remember. It's from the same makers of Life is Strange and Tell Me Why. It's called JUSANT Jounce, I guess you would say.
I don't think I saw this one.
Yeah. So this one is an action puzzle game based on climbing.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Talks about the narrative game told without spoken dialogue. So very much kind of reminds me of like Ico or Shadow of the Colossus type situation. Thought this one looked interesting. I really like the art style. It's very unique. I mean, I've seen other games do it, but the fact that this game was solely based on like climbing, I thought was kind of interesting. I mean,
Cool.
obviously there's climbing in Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, but you know, where climbing is the main mechanic, it's very interesting. I'm kind of curious to see how that mechanic works because if it's centered around that, obviously the mechanic has to be something that's interesting and unique. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it could get old.
Yeah, exactly. And then the next one, which I don't know if you've played any of these games, but this one I do believe is the Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. I don't know if you've played any of those like Yakuza type games or anything like that.
If I could get into any one game series, it'd probably be the Yakuza series. I just can't get into it.
What is it? Is it like the humor or like the
I don't
over the
know.
top,
I think
or-
it's like just the game itself. Like I don't know. I think I want it to be one thing and it's not, and I just can't get into what it is. It's a weird thing to try to wrap my head around, but like I just can't get into it.
Look, we're about to show some nudity on this podcast.
We are.
bro.
We're on Twitch. We should probably pull that trailer.
But anyways, so this is obviously they don't. This is going to be early 2024, but this is a larger than life RPG adventure, as they call it. Now, I have a few friends of mine that love like a lot of these style of games and also the Persona games and things like this. So I'm sure this will be right up their alley. I know the fighting mechanics in this game are very very good. I actually want to play one. I just haven't done it yet. I feel like I'm gonna have to be in the right headspace to try to dive into this type of genre of games. So moving on, we got a couple
Expand.
more. I got a couple more, and then we'll move on. So this one here is, I want to say this is the South of Midnight.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if you saw this, but super
did.
interesting trailer. This was one that I
love the art style.
no, it kind of almost that portion right there kind of reminded me of Coco, the animated movie. You know what I'm talking about? I thought that was really cool. I was trying to see if when this game had a release date, but yeah, I thought this game was really really cool. So this
Is it
comes
because
from
it's
the
a
same.
skeleton playing a guitar? Is that why?
I mean, yeah. It comes from the creators that did Contrast and also We Happy Few.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like
So
We
We
Happy
Happy,
Few.
Yeah. So they refer to this as a spellbinding third-person adventure game set in America Deep South.
It looks like New Orleans, right?
Yeah. So just the overall genre and just like the vibe of this game just seems really really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping music plays a big part of this game too. I think just based on like what I'm seeing now, it just seems like it's very rooted in culture, which I'm kind of excited to see and like go through that story. I think will be really neat as well. But yeah, looks super interesting. So that one kind of caught me off guard, and it's something that will definitely be on my radar.
Yeah.
Now this one I saw and kind of reminded me of something that you would probably like. I don't know if you watched this one or not. This one is the one that takes place on the oil rig.
Oh no, I haven't seen this one.
Yeah, this one's called Still Wakes the Deep. Uh, this is from the creator of Dear Esther and Everybody's Gone to Rapture, which I don't know if you played either of those games, but both those are really good titles. But yeah, this takes place on an oil rig. And essentially, oil rig worker must fight for their life through the storm and also the catastrophic surroundings. So like it kind of has like, yeah, it looks really good though. And it's something it's right up my alley. It's something I'll probably play for sure.
Yeah.
But essentially you have to rush to escape the rig before it's obviously fully submerges. It kind of seems stressful, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think if my anxiety can handle that.
Yeah. But other than that, that is all. There was one other trailer. I don't know if you saw one to share real quick, and then we'll move on because the Ubisoft event was just really, really quick. But 33 Immortals, I don't know if you saw that one or not. That one was kind of like a roguelike. It looks kind of like this one kind of looks like the Hades types game.
Yeah.
Just the roguelikes, which I don't know if you get into roguelikes or not.
Not really.
But this one actually comes out October 24th. And then also, are you a fan of the SimCity like games?
Yeah. Cities, what?
Yeah,
Skyline 2, I think.
Yeah, City Skyline 2 also got announced as well. That comes out the same day as this game. Comes out on the 24th of October. Obviously touting here, all footage is in-game captured, which, you know, it's always one of those things I feel like you say, but then when you see it, you're just like, I don't know. But I love these style of games. You know, I love like world building simulation type games. Don't really care to make sure the population's happy, but everything else I like. But yeah, this will be out on the 24th as well. Anything else you wanted to add to Game Pass or the game showcase before we move on to the Ubisoft event?
Where was Indiana Jones?
What do you mean?
Where was it? Machine Games is making Indiana Jones, and we didn't get anything for it.
Oh,
I thought we'd get an update.
I thought you meant they announced it, and I just didn't share it. I thought you were throwing
No.
shade
I'm ready to see it.
Gotcha.
Show me anything. But then I'm going to complain like 5 years when it's still not out. So
yeah, I know. That's what you'll do. 100%.
That's what I'm allowed to do as the consumer.
Yeah. So real quick, so Ubisoft made a couple of announcements, which we won't spend time talking about Star Wars because obviously we already talked about Star Wars. We showed the gameplay trailer, which they showed at their event today. However, what we did get an Avatar trailer, which I had heard they were working on Avatar, but I honestly forgot completely about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, they also did another video where I think it was like a 10-minute video where they actually showed gameplay, like a gameplay walkthrough. So if you haven't seen that, definitely check that out. And then, but what'd you think of this trailer? I mean, I'm assuming you saw it, right?
I did, yeah. So it's probably going to be fine.
Be a hot take, right?
It's probably going to be fine. I don't care about Avatar, like at all. I don't know why it was as big as it was, why it's as big as it is. I don't understand it. That being
modern
said,
day Ferngully or Pocahontas. That's what's not to love.
But like, I just don't feel like. I felt like the first one was incredibly overrated, and I haven't even seen the second one. Like, I don't know if I ever will. So this isn't really a game I have on my radar. That being said, it's probably a much cooler world to explore in a video game space than as a 3.5 hour movie. I did ride the ride at Disney World. I enjoyed that infinitely more than the movie. So
Wow. You just really,
both
you're really,
rides at Disney
you're
World.
really going hard in the paint tonight.
I just don't really care for Avatar, and I just didn't really get the hype.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
thought you were going to come back from vacation and be nice, but man, you're on one.
no, I'm grumpy now. I'm away from the beach. I'm back here, and my
This is you
allergies are
right here.
back, and the
This is
humidity is
you.
back. Yeah.
You're old man like me.
God, I'm kicking you off the stream. Hang on. No, I'm just kidding.
You can't,
You say I
no,
can't? You say I can't?
no, I didn't say that. I said please don't. No, I mean, say what you will about Avatar, whether you're a fan of the story or not, but you can't disagree that from a technical standpoint, it is from effects and like that type of stuff. I think it's a good movie, regardless of the story.
I guess maybe if them been like, it's the only movie that's ever gonna look like this, and I just thought it doesn't like it's not. It doesn't look like what like. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It just
Did you go
didn't.
see him in theaters?
The
Or did you
first
see
one,
him-
yeah.
You didn't see the second one in theaters?
I haven't seen the second one. Period.
Okay, you plan
just
on
don't
keeping
care
that way
about
too,
it.
I assume, right? Yeah.
Huh?
I said you plan on keeping it that way too, don't you?
I mean, I might eventually, but I mean, if I have 3.5 hours to kill, I'm probably gonna go do something else. Like your mom.
Oh my gosh, my mom watches that. She's one of the few
Oh
people watching.
no.
Anyways,
Elaine, I'm so sorry, Elaine.
Elaine.
I don't know
Well,
your mom's
next
first name.
we got some more
Sandra
cinematic trailers
McGillis. I'm so
for.
sorry. What's her
for,
first name? Tell me.
Her name's Vicky.
Ooh, Vicky.
Vicky Vale, Vicky Vale, Vicky Vale. Anyways, so we got a
What
new.
was that?
It's off of Chuck. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, so we got a new cinematic trailer for Assassin's Creed, which I know we already seen a trailer similar to this. It kind of reminds me like they're going back to old school. Now,
Yeah.
that could just be the way the trailer's cut. The gameplay may be the same as everything else. I kind of hope it's a return to how the game used to be before. I'm trying to think which one went more RPG-ish and huge world. Was it Odyssey?
Origins. Is this the
Origins.
Mirage? Or this
Yes,
isn't
this
Mirage,
is-
is it?
Yeah, this is Mirage.
Okay. I know they showed off the Jade one as well. I didn't know which one that was.
No, that one's VR. I didn't. show
No,
that
that's a
one.
different one. That's like Nexus or something.
Oh yeah, no, this is. Let me double check, but yeah, this is Mirage.
Okay.
They also showed. So, what's your thoughts on Assassin's Creed? I mean, are you a fan if they go back to kind of
If
the
they
older
go-
formula?
Yeah, if they go back, I'm interested quite a bit. If yeah, I mean the most recent 3 were just like too full. They were too big, but it was the stuff that I didn't really care about doing, and it wasn't really important. But like the map and just like all the stuff that was in your face, like kind of deterred from actually completing the story.
Yeah.
So I just kind of want a simple game where I've got a little knife in my wrist and I can just jump from buildings and stab people in the face. It's kind of like all that I want from this series. It's what they're good at. I mean, like almost like parkour was almost non-existent.
Yeah.
It wasn't as vital. I want to
Yeah.
climb up buildings to get away, yank people off ledges. I want to do all that again. So I don't
Yeah.
need to be a Viking. I don't need to be a Roman soldier, whatever. Just let me be this dude right here and let me do that to that person.
Just let me be that dude, right?
Yeah. And if you're
I,
listening, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, 100%. Next, we got one game that I actually brought up. I think it may have been the last podcast or the last episode. I was talking about what happened to the Prince of Persia, the Prince of Persia franchise, and then look, now it comes. Now you see a trailer for it. It's mine. You're welcome.
Thank you.
No, I was kind of. I mean, this obviously looks like it's not as fleshed out, obviously, as like an Assassin's Creed light game, but for Prince of Persia, it just looks like they're really just bringing it into kind of the modern look and feel of most. It's kind of honestly looks like a mobile game.
I was about
me.
to ask, do you think this game will launch on Apple Arcade?
That's what I was wondering. I don't know. Like the more I look at it, I'm kind of like, this kind of looks like it could be an arcade game for sure, just based on the look and feel. Yeah,
I mean, if Genshin Impact can play on your phone, this definitely can.
yeah, 100%, 100%.
This is
But-
a mobile game. They
Yeah.
developed this for iPhone and they ported it to PC and consoles.
Yeah, I mean, I like a good side scroller beat 'em up game. Don't get me wrong. I
Same.
mean, if it's something that I can get on Apple Arcade and play it with my phone, then cool. But I'm not gonna pay more than $10 for this game. I'd say.
Side note, there's a game I told you about a while back that just came out, I believe. It's a side scroller beat 'em up on Steam called Tiny Thor, and it looks really, really fun. But it just came out the other day.
That's the nickname your mom gives me.
Tiny Thor?
Yeah, dude.
I didn't think
Because I have a hammer, but
It's
it's tiny.
tiny.
Oh my god, the hammer! The hammer pulled you off.
Anyway, Tiny Thor, look it up. I don't know if it's
Okay,
good though because I
I'll
haven't
check
played
it
it.
out.
This is
All
not
right,
an endorsement.
this isn't an endorsement. Man, my palms are itching. Does that mean I'm gonna get money soon? Is that it?
Is that a thing?
That's what they say.
Who says
Anyways,
this?
I don't know. However, do you have anything to add to the Ubisoft Forward? Because that was
I
pretty much it.
that show is kind of weird. They had like this guy. Keep in mind, I watched this with no sound on. They had this guy that came out and like talked about something, and then they had a band come out and played some music. Oh, they showed Skull and Bones again. Which do we care? Like, I don't think we
No.
do. Yeah, Ubisoft Showcase. If they didn't have that Star Wars gameplay and even that Avatar trailer, it would have been like one of the worst showings of all time. But they
Yeah,
did have
there
this
was like
thing,
a
so
there was like a PvP game that they announced, but
X
I didn't.
Defiant.
Yeah, I didn't feel like bringing it in because it didn't look like anything.
Yeah,
I'm
there's gonna be a free
surprised
weekend though coming up.
they should
Where
give
the
you.
heck is the Division Heartland? They showed off the dumb Division mobile game that no one cares about, and if you do care about it, I'm sorry, but
A lot of that stuff got leaked too, didn't it?
it did.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're not over here like saying you want a new Rainbow Six or something.
Nah,
You played that game a lot.
I did play that game a lot, and I would be down to play it again too. But
Yeah. Well, anyways, let's move on. So let's go ahead and move into nod of approval. Do we have any comments or anything before we move on?
no,
It's been pretty light.
we did skip over a news article. We had
yeah.
one piece of notable news that came out today is the FTC is filing an injunction to block the Microsoft and Blizzard Activision merger, which kind of a big deal. The FTC is trying to argue that if the deal were to go through, that Microsoft would gain control of the top video game franchises, not some of the top, but the top of the top. This is the top of the mountain is Diablo, Overwatch, World of Warcraft, Call of Duty. I can't believe I forgot that one. Obviously, I'm joking a little bit, but that's just what they said. But this would harm the competition in high performance gaming consoles and subscription services by denying or degrading rivals' access to its popular content. Ooh, so I don't know what that means. I'm not a business guy. I'm not a legal guy. But it sounds like another hurdle for Microsoft to jump over if they want to make this deal happen.
Yeah, just when you thought it was going to go down, somebody threw another wrench in the plans.
Yep.
You want to? I feel like. Do you want to see this go through?
Yeah.
I feel like if it goes through, it's only going to put more pressure on Sony to actually start doing things.
Make their own, like another SOCOM, their
Yeah.
own multiplayer games. I do want to go through, and I don't have an Xbox this generation. I only have a PlayStation, but I wanted to go through so it will kind of force Sony to make multiplayer shooters. They stopped making Killzone, Resistance, SOCOM right around the time Call of Duty really hit its stride in popularity. So take that away. Take it away. Make them do something. And also, if you're paying attention, Sony isn't buying up companies, but they are buying up exclusive rights. Whereas Microsoft's going for the companies, Sony's going, hey, Square, we don't want to buy you, but we want to buy like Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy 7 Remake. And I know you said you're going to release 14 on Xbox. Let's just not do that anymore. Here's some more money. They're not buying the company. There's no merger. There's no like hurdles to jump through. They're just buying up exclusive rights. That's what Microsoft needs to do. If this deal falls through, say, okay, no big deal. Hey, Activision, here's $1 billion. Thanks for the Call of Duty exclusive license for 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't need to own it. I mean,
Right.
To cause some trouble. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that that might be the route if this gets denied, if they really want to shake it up, which if they did, because they made all these deals under the assumption that the deal is going to go through. If it doesn't go through, I don't know if these deals are still valid or not. Like I said, not a business guy, not a legal guy. But it would be kind of funny to be like, oh yeah, if this deal goes through, we're going to give you Call of Duty for 10 years. To where if it doesn't go through, but they buy the exclusive rights, then they just don't get it. And there's nothing you can do about it. So, I mean, Sony is just, I feel like Sony's just smarter. Like they're not throwing billions of dollars at Square Enix to buy them. They're just saying your biggest game, one of the biggest gaming franchises just is going to be exclusive to our console because we had the money to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think one of the things that makes it smart too is because when Microsoft is consuming these companies or buying them, they're just making all the stuff that they're making day one to Game Pass anyways, and I think they're just losing money hand over fist, to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm
Whereas
not really sure. It's got to be beneficial to them for some reason to do it.
yeah, I mean, I would think so. I mean, I know they're more of a software company than a hardware company now, but at some point they're going to start making monies. But anyways, moving forward, so we want to get into nod of approval. However, a call to action. If you're watching and you want to comment, if you have a suggestion that you'd like to share with our listeners or viewers, feel free to type that in chat, and we'll call it out as well. If there's something you think that everybody should check out, and it's not anything too sketchy, feel free to share it in the comments, and we'll read it. Justin, what's your nod of approval?
The Netflix exclusive, I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson. Sketch comedy show just launched its third season. Tim Robinson, if you don't know who that is, he was like on SNL for a year, but he's really hit his stride with this show. The humor is extremely weird. Some of it is gross, some of it is highly inappropriate, but man, it's a good show. It's really funny. It's like they'll start a joke, a sketch, and it'll be like you'll think it's going one direction, and then it'll go like 5 different directions that you never saw coming. So that it's the new season. I think all in all, there's like 18 episodes total of the whole show, and they're like 15 to 20 minutes each. There's some doozies. There's one sketch in particular with, if you've seen the show, you know exactly what I'm talking about, with Will Forte. And that sketch plays in my head on a loop almost nonstop. So
It lives there rent free. Is that it?
It does. Yeah. Highly recommend that show. It's really funny.
All right, I have to check it out. I haven't seen it,
Yeah.
and not to be mistaken for Tim Robbins, right? Like,
Yeah, not Tim Robinson. Tim Robinson. There's one sketch in the first season with I'm gonna say his name wrong, and I hope I don't, but Stephen Yoon from Walking Dead and Beef.
yeah.
And that's a sketch that starts going one direction and then just completely does a U-turn and like goes off the rails, just hilarious and crazy. And that was the one where I thought this show is special. So, and then you may have seen the Ghost Tour sketch, Travis, that I've sent you before.
I have. That one's
Yeah.
pretty good.
That's the show.
Is that from that show?
It is, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Now I'm sitting there. I haven't seen it in that long, and I still remember it in my head.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But that's my pick. I Think You Should Leave on Netflix. Season 3 just came out.
Yeah. So
That's
pick
my
of the
nod.
week-
Sorry.
Oh, your nod. So my pick of the week is
Nod of approval.
my nod of approval. God, Justin, you get me all,
Da-da-da.
you get me all. Ding. Anyways, mine is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It's my nod of approval. If you have not seen it, been on the fence about seeing it, or even if you're not a huge animation fan, you should still go see it. It's a really, really good movie. And one thing I always found about these movies is they're very heartfelt too. Like the first one was that way, the second one's that way. And just like the pacing I always felt was really good in these because it felt like there was always something happening. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
This one was longer than the first one, I think by 30 or 45 minutes, but it did not feel that. It didn't feel like it was a long movie to me. Like I looked down at my watch, I'm like, oh, we're crossing over the 2-hour mark. Like this has got to be wrapping up at some point, right? Like, but then I was like, well, this isn't like to a place where this should be wrapped up. So, but yeah, that's my nod of approval. I know that Justin is asking once more about the Discord. So what I'm going to do for next week, I'm going to create a QR code, and I'm also going to put it in our link tree as well. So you'll be able to scan it when you're watching the feed with the QR code to join the Discord, or I'm just going to add it to our LinkedIn, not our LinkedIn, our link tree on any of our social media. So when you actually click on the link tree, it'll actually link you to our Discord there and you can join. So yeah, so that's where we're at with that. So just stay tuned. By this time next week, the Discord should be up and running. and that'll be a place just for people to come hang out, chill, share links, content, have conversations, things like that. So, and then occasionally when Justin and I get back into like going and streaming, we can hang out in Discord and chat with anybody that wants to pop in and hang out.
I think it'd be
down.
fun if we did some like I'm trying to think of games that would be fun to stream with a lot of people, like listeners. Like Among Us, I think would be a good one. I know a lot of people don't talk about that anymore.
Yeah,
I think that'd be a fun one to stream and get.
The one I would love to stream and get people involved, but it would just go sideways and we'd probably get banned immediately, is any of the Jackbox games.
I'd be down for that.
But Jackbox is a great game for people to play remotely. I could share my screen, people could join from their mobile app, and then everybody could just play together. My only concern is if there's anything that's like too inappropriate, it's just.
I've never played them. Is the game inappropriate?
I mean, think of like one game, for instance, like try to think of what it like. Shoot, what is it called? Anyways, there's a game on there. It's like that would be like. I'm totally blanking. What's the card game that is very inappropriate?
Cards Against Humanity.
Think of Cards Against Humanity if you could write your own answers.
So I think we can show that stuff as long as we're not like crossing any like,
yeah.
Lines. We can like be vulgar. We just can't, be offensive, I guess is what I'm trying
Justin
to say.
says Diablo. That is true.
That is true.
Groups of 4 and it's cross play. So we could definitely do that for sure. All right, cool. Justin, is there anything you want to mention? Anything you want to give a shout out to before we end the show?
Give a shout out to Vicky.
Thank you so much. Shout out to my mom, Vicky.
Thank you, Vicky.
You just throw her a wink?
I did.
Wow. My sister watches it. My little sister watches it.
I'm so sorry. I don't mean any of it. I'm just giving Travis a hard time.
She's going to run in there and tell mom. Go tell mom. Go tell mom what Justin did.
Go tell her. You tell her. I want her to know. No, I don't want her to know. Don't tell her. Cut that.
No, we can't cut it. It's live. It'll live
live
forever.
We'll do it live.
Anyways, that is all that we have for you this evening. Thank you for joining in for episode 135. As always, we appreciate you tuning in. What? What just happened? I'm assuming somebody. Oh.
He took it down. He put it back up.
There you go. So Justin is asking when
other
we
Justin,
can meet...
not me.
Yeah. Other Justin is asking when they can meet Vicky, which is my mom. I'll see if I can.
How fast can you get to the ATM?
Wow. We're gonna shut this down. This is going real sideways. Anyways, so I want to thank everyone for tuning in, who's listened, who's also viewed our channel. Please make sure you hit follow, like, subscribe, whatever it is, depending on the platform you're at. Make sure you leave us a review. Would really appreciate it. That helps with the algorithms. Also, if you can, I know this is probably one of the things I've never wanted to ask in my life, but if you could go follow our TikTok channel. If you could go follow our TikTok channel, the biggest reason is we want to start live streaming to that platform. However, you cannot live stream until you get to 1,000 followers. So if you could just go like us on TikTok, please do so. And then also, if you have any ideas for topics, suggestions, feel free to reach out to us at any of our social medias on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Or if you also want to email us at podcast@nerdswithmics.com. As always, thank you for joining in. Justin, thank you for being active in the chat. Appreciate it. It was a great show. Obviously it's great when you guys chime in. Justin, we always appreciate you showing up to bat for us as always. But with that, that's a wrap.
Bye.
See ya.